Now, if you're going to build a car from scratch, my advice is don't start by making the bonnet, all right? Even if the car hasn't got a separate chassis, which, of course, the MG hasn't, you need to start with something to attach all the other body parts to. And a chassis rail is the best place when you're talking about an MG. These are the bits down here. This bit is one of two main chassis rails. It already comes pressed like this, and these are all the bits you need to attach to it. You'll need one of these if you want to attach a front bumper. This is just a closure plate for the chassis rail itself. These bits are for attaching the cross member that joins the two chassis rails together. Oh, and you'll need one of these if you want to attach your gearbox mounts. It's Greg's job to put it all together. There you are. And here it is, a beautifully put together chassis rail, which then moves over here to John. There you go, mate. A right-hand side chassis rail. And the next job is attach the chassis rails together with the cross members. And to give you a bit of geography, this is where you'd actually sit with the engine in front of you, driving like that. I hope that helps. Leave it to John. Then to the back of the car, same principle really. You need to start with the chassis rails, one either side. They're already done. And then it's Pete's job to put together the rest of the back of the car. What he's doing here is the battery boxes onto the battery box cover plate, which is this bit, but it's all upside down at the moment. It'll become clear. Part number Z347F4 of. Excellent. Right, we now have the rear section sorted out. This is the boot floor, so I'm now facing forwards down the car, and the rear wheel arches either side are in. So all I've got to do now is join this side up with the front. Hang on a minute, I haven't got any brakes. MG stands for Morris Garages. The MGB was a great success story for the company in the 1960s. The man who gave the car its recognisable shape was chief designer Don Hayter.
If you think of way back in those 60s, wings and things on the car were the order of the day. I didn't like them. I always wanted a line that ran from front to back cleanly, and that's what I achieved on the MGB.
The MGB was built to replace the MGA. This 1955 car had been described as the prettiest car in the world. It needed updating, though, for the more sophisticated car buyer of the 60s. But a totally different car was to inspire the design of its replacement. The EX181 was built to be the fastest MG ever. It broke the world land speed record in 1957 when Stirling Moss took it to 245 miles an hour.
EX181 used an airfoil shape to get the curves to make it as sleek in the wind as possible. When we came to do a car to replace the MGA, we actually used some of the same curves from 181 on the draft, and it became the MGB.
So now it's time to unite the front part to the rear part. Only thing that's happened to here, to the front, is it's now got its tunnel on for the gearbox. There's a lot of manhandling required now, but it's nice, isn't it? Lovely. Very proud of this. what? I have got to get one of these jigs. It's going to make Les and my job so much easier in the workshop if we can just spin it round like on a rotisserie. Anyway, we're now at a stage where the front and the rear are together and we've got outer sills both sides and the rear wings are on. Now, I bet you're wondering, how do you turn a flat piece of steel into such a beautiful curved shape as this? Well, what you need is a very, 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 very big hammer. I'm talking huge, massive, size of this room. Once all the metal panels are in place and welded, it's then time to finish off the shells. Now, Sid started on this one, dressing up all the welds and so on so it can go for its first coat of paint. He's then going to put the doors on and the bonnet, and then this shell will go next door. And in here, what they do is put the front wings on, which are bolt-on, and then finish all the dressing. And that's basically going round it with your hand, looking for any imperfections, and then just sorting them out with a DA and the flat of a grinder. This would take me the best part of a week. It takes these guys 2 hours. Then all that remains is for this shell to be degreased and painted. That's it for now. We'll see you in the workshop next time. Oh, say goodbye, Sid!
That's all, folks.